Execution creates consistency. Feedback creates improvement. But even a well-designed system fails if nobody encounters it. Distribution is what moves value from isolation into circulation. Many people build strong systems that never scale because they assume quality alone guarantees reach. Distribution is not promotion. It is the structural pathway that allows systems to be discovered repeatedly without relying on constant effort. Distribution answers a different question than execution. Execution asks how work gets done correctly. Distribution asks how value reaches people predictably. Without distribution, systems remain private. They may function perfectly, but never compound. Reach is not accidental. It is designed. Systems that scale include distribution as a core layer, not as an afterthought, added only when growth stalls. Most people avoid distribution because it feels external and uncomfortable. Execution feels controlled. Distribution feels exposed. This discomfort leads to overbuilding systems in isolation. But isolation kills leverage. Distribution is not about attention seeking. It is about placement. Where does your system show up? How often? And under what conditions does someone encounter it again? Distribution also reduces dependency on timing. Without it, results depend on being present at the right moment. With distribution, value continues moving even when you are absent. This is why distribution increases resilience. It allows systems to keep working during downtime, interruptions, or reduced effort. Reach becomes persistent rather than episodic, which changes how income behaves over time. A distribution system should be repeatable, not reactive. Random posting, sporadic outreach, or inconsistent exposure creates noise, not momentum. Repeatability allows learning. When distribution is consistent, feedback becomes visible. You can see what resonates, where drop-off occurs, and which channels compound. Without repeatability, results are misleading and improvement becomes guesswork. Distribution does not require volume to start. It requires clarity. One message, one format, one channel. Spreading across many channels too early dilutes learning. Concentrated distribution creates cleaner feedback. Once one pathway works, it can be expanded. Scaling distribution before understanding it multiplies inefficiency. Precision always comes before volume in systems that last. Good distribution systems lower friction for the audience. They reduce the effort required to encounter value again. This might mean predictable publishing, clear sequencing, or consistent placement. When people know where to find you, trust compounds. Trust is not built by intensity. It is built by reliability. Distribution creates reliability at the point of contact. Distribution also shapes perception. Repeated exposure creates familiarity. Familiarity reduces resistance. This is why distribution is not optional for high-quality systems. Value that appears once is ignored. Value that appears consistently becomes credible. Systems that grow understand this psychological reality and design for repetition without forcing attention. A common mistake is treating distribution as marketing. Marketing focuses on persuasion. Distribution focuses on access. Access precedes persuasion. If people cannot easily encounter your system again, persuasion is wasted. Distribution ensures presence before persuasion begins. This reframes growth from convincing harder to being available consistently in the right places. Distribution also protects against burnout. When reach depends on constant pushing, effort spikes. When reach is systemized, effort smooths out. Predictable exposure reduces urgency. Urgency drains judgment. Calm systems perform better. Distribution removes pressure by allowing results to emerge from structure instead of force. The strongest distribution systems integrate with execution. Output is designed for distribution from the start. This avoids rework. When content, offers, or systems are built without distribution in mind, retrofitting becomes costly. Designing for distribution early ensures that value flows naturally outward instead of requiring constant manual effort to move. Distribution systems also create optionality. When one channel weakens, others continue. Dependency on a single pathway increases fragility. Diversification comes later, but awareness starts early. Systems that last plan for redundancy. Redundancy is not inefficiency. It is protection against shifts that cannot be predicted. It is important to separate distribution from growth tactics. Tactics change frequently. Systems persist. A distribution system defines cadence, placement, and sequence. Tactics operate within that structure. When tactics fail, the system remains intact. Without structure, every change feels like starting over, which slows progress and increases fatigue. Distribution also clarifies positioning. Where your system appears influences how it is interpreted. Context shapes value. The same message placed consistently in the same environment builds authority. Scattered placement creates confusion. Systems that grow choose their environments deliberately and remain visible long enough for trust to form. When distribution works, effort shifts again. Instead of pushing harder, you refine placement. Small improvements in distribution outperform large increases in output. This leverage is subtle but powerful. It allows growth without proportional work. Distribution is where systems begin to feel unfairly effective compared to effort-based approaches. Distribution also accelerates learning. Consistent exposure produces consistent feedback. You see what attracts attention, what holds it, and what loses it. This data feeds back into execution and design. Distribution becomes part of the feedback loop, not a separate activity. Systems that learn fastest integrate these layers. Ignoring distribution delays results even when systems are strong. Many people mistake silence for failure. In reality, the system is simply unseen. Distribution solves visibility, not quality. Once visibility exists, quality determines retention. Systems require both. Skipping distribution is like building infrastructure in a locked room and wondering why nothing moves. Next, we will examine how sequencing turns distribution into momentum. Order matters. What people encounter first shapes how everything else is interpreted. Distribution without sequencing creates noise. Sequencing creates narrative flow. When distribution and sequencing align, systems stop feeling like content and start functioning like engines that pull people forward naturally.